Now, let us prepare our hearts and minds for a time of meditation. I invite you to find a comfortable position in your seats. Close your eyes if you wish, and take a few deep breaths. Let go of any distractions or worries that may be on your mind.
In the silence, there is a sacred place, a secret meeting place. Love is there. In the silence, where every color blends and every rainbow ends, good is there. In the light, now you see that you know peace of mind. In the silence, your path is paved with gold, and all your dreams unfold. Love is there. Peace is there. Truth is there. God is there.
God is there. God is there. Breathing in, breathing out. Changing the focus to the breath of God, the breath of life, the breath that is and always will be, the breathing in, the breathing out, the centering breath, the relaxing breath, the re-energizing breath, the renewal breath, focusing on the breath and continuing the breathing in and the breathing out. I allow the body to relax, to let go, to settle into wherever it is that I'm sitting, and take in a breath and hold it for a moment and just let go. Let go. Let the body take a breath and relax. Let go of any tension, any tightness. Breathe in, breathe out. Allow the belly to drop. Breathe in, breathe out. Allow the shoulders to drop. Allow the jaw to drop. And the breath continues. The body relaxes, the breathing in, the breathing out. The awareness that I am indeed in the midst of this human experience. I am divine. I am a spiritual being. I am one with God. God and I are one. Breathing in and breathing out. In the midst of that realization, I claim my divinity, and I invite you to claim your divinity right here in the midst of this meditation time. I am divine. I have everything that I need. I know everything that I need to know. God and I are one. Breathing in, breathing out. I settle into this spiritual being that I am. I settle into this human experience that I'm on. I allow myself to be filled with peace, to be filled with quiet, to open my heart and mind to the wonderful world of the silence, to the wonderful world of the silence where I sit and become renewed, refreshed, reinvigorated. For I know that in the silence, love is there. In the silence, peace is there. In the silence, God is there. In the silence, I am there. In the silence now. In the silence. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Relaxed, refreshed, renewed. Taking in a deep breath now and holding it for just a moment. And slowly, slowly letting the air out, slowly exhaling, slowly, slowly. And then taking in another deep breath and holding it again for a moment. And on the exhale, I allow myself to be filled with gratitude, gratitude, gratitude for this human experience, gratitude for human kindness, gratitude for the awareness that I am a spiritual being, Gratitude for this time that we took just now to renew and refresh ourselves, to connect with each other, to connect with the Christ in each of us. And for that connection, and for that Christ spirit that dwells in each of us, we say, thank you, God. Thank you, God. And so it is. Amen.
You will do amazing things with the choice each new day brings. And with every step you take, bless the progress that you make. The reason you live is there in every gift you give. Love your life and love your dreams. You will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. Oh, the places you will go and the people you will know. Don't worry when or where or how. You don't need to know that now. You're on the right track. No need to look ahead or back. Just enjoy what this day brings. You will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. You don't have to work it out. Just stay in the here and now. Let your mind rest for a little while. Sometimes the deepest answers come when you're out there having fun. So close your eyes and take a breath and smile. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. You will do amazing things.
The amazing David Trolley. He's always doing amazing things. David Trolley, thank you so much. Thank you so much for reminding us that we're amazing. We will always do amazing things. Well, let's do it right now. Come on, I invite you. Let's all close our eyes. Close your eyes for a moment. Let's take in a big, deep breath. Let it out. And then open your eyes and smile. Look at everybody. You're amazing. You will always do amazing things. You have everything that you need right now to do everything amazing. And that's what we're going to talk about today. But we'll do that in a minute. Before we get into that, I just want to thank everybody that signed up for the Mindful Self-Compassion class. I'm going to limit it so that we can have some meaningful discussion. If you don't get in this time, I think I'll offer it again in the fall with the Quest for Wholeness. So don't fret if you don't get in this time, but I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a fun class. And then something new that I wanted to start today. The world is such a crazy place. You never know what's going to happen next. I think I wouldn't be doing my job as your minister if I didn't talk about it, because it's happening right in front of us. And I can guarantee you that there's thousands and thousands of other ministers around this country talking about it during their church service, talking about it from the pulpit, talking about truth. I belong to faithfulamerica.org. They put out weekly emails what the faith community is doing about the situation in America today. They put out very good information about what they think Jesus would have said or done about all of it. And I respect that. I respect Jesus's teachings. I believe in Jesus's teachings. In Unity, we teach Jesus's teaching. Right now on Flag Day, Donald Trump plans to put tanks in the streets of Washington, D.C. in a made-for-TV display of dominance for his birthday. It's a spectacle to show strength, but it is just an illusion. Faithful America says that Donald Trump and his allies are putting together this grotesque celebration of empire to convince us that their power is limitless and eternal, the stuff of kings and emperors. This is a significant opportunity for social justice Christians to show the world what walking in Jesus's footsteps means. Christian nationalist leaders will be vocal in their praise for Trump's threatening display of military might. Trump's military might. Christian nationalist leaders will be vocal in their praise of Trump's threatening display of military might. So let us provide a meaningful, public counter-witness rooted in peace, love, and justice. When the tanks are going down the street, let us stay in peace, in love, and justice. Let us hold to the teachings of Jesus. Well, in the midst of all that's happening today, there was a small town minister, and this small town minister was caught in a rising flood. As the waters crept up his porch, a neighbor came by in a rowboat and shouted, Rev, jump in. I'll take you to safety. The minister calmly replied, No, thank you. I have faith. God will save me. An hour later, the water was waist deep. Another boat came by. Reverend, get in. It's not safe. Again, he waved them by. Forgive me, I'm having a little trouble with my finger this morning. Again, he waved them off. No need, he said. I have faith. God will save me. Later still, clinging to the roof, a helicopter hovered overhead. A rescue worker yelled down, Grab the ladder, Pastor, grab the ladder. The minister yelled back, God will save me. Well, the water kept rising, and unfortunately, the minister drowned. He gets to heaven, a bit soggy, and very confused. He says, God, I had faith. Why didn't you save me? And God replies, I sent 2 boats and a helicopter. What more did you want? Faith is trusting in the divine. But spiritual judgment is recognizing when the answer to your prayer is already knocking. Spiritual judgment is recognizing when the answer to your prayer is already knocking. That we have all the gifts that we need. I say that all the time. I said it in the meditation. I said it in the prayer. I'm saying it all the time, that we're spiritual beings on a human experience, and we have everything that we need to move through this human experience. And what are those things? Well, we have 12 gifts, 12 powers, 12 things that we can, 12 gifts that we can reach out to and grab onto and put into practice in this human experience whenever we need to. And I want to talk about those over the next 2 months. When I'm speaking, I want to talk about 3 of our 12 powers each time that I speak and remind us about them. And so I'm going to use my favorite 12 powers book. It's William Warch's book, Your 12 Gifts from God. And then taking Robert Brummer's book, as we've been doing the Quest for Wholeness, and reflect on how these sacred attributes support our spiritual evolution and help us meet the human experience with resilience, with clarity, and with grace. And so we begin our journey this week looking at into spiritual wholeness by activating 3 foundational gifts: the gifts of faith, the gift of strength, and the gift of judgment. These powers guide us to trust in the process of life, to stand firm in our truth, and to discern our path with clarity. Drawing from Brahman's insights on becoming conscious participants in our own transformation, conscious participants in our own transportation, we'll explore how these gifts anchor us as we walk through uncertainty and as we walk through change. And so I just want to remind you as we begin this, that this concept of spiritual power as divine attributes means that we have each of these divine attributes within us. And that Brahma tells us in the Quest for Wholeness that this quest that we're on is not about fixing brokenness, but awakening to the wholeness that is already ours in spirit. Awakening to the wholeness of these gifts that we have with us as we move through this human experience. And the gifts of faith, strength, and judgment are foundational for grounding our spiritual lives in a world that often feels unstable. And we're living in such a world today. And so I invite you to bring the gifts of faith and strength and discernment into your lives this week. And let's talk about faith for a minute. Faith is the power to trust the unseen. And that's what I was asking you to do in my Faithful America talk, that even know that what we're seeing is going on. With faith, we trust the unseen, that there's more beyond that there's peace and love and joy beyond that. Faith is our capacity to believe in spiritual truth, even when our senses offer no evidence. It is the intuitive assurance that divine order is always at work. Brahma says that faith represents the first step on the inward journey toward wholeness. Brahma teaches that the path of conscious evolution begins with our willingness to trust in a deeper reality. That beyond our egoic conditioning, there is a self that is already whole and already connected to the divine. One more time on that one, that's so important, that beyond our egoic conditioning, what we've been brought up to believe, there is the self, the us, the I, the Christ that is already whole and already connected to the divine. And so when we look back on what Warch and Brummett say, we see that faith is not naive optimism. It is spiritual courage. It's trusting the process of transformation, even when we don't understand the outcome. When we commit to healing, commit to forgiving, commit to growing, faith will help us remain steady in the darkness before the dawn. In the darkness before the dawn. Brummett refers to this as turning towards the unknown, a conscious act of surrender that opens the door to transformation. To let it go, to surrender to it, open the door to transformation. Strength. Strength is the power to remain centered and steady. Right now, in this crazy world, I need my spiritual strength. I need all the power that I can get to remain centered and steady. I need all the power I can get to stand strong in my conviction not to watch the news. I know that that's good for me not to watch the news, and I need to stand strong in that. Warch tells us that strength is not physical might, but spiritual endurance. An inner rootedness that allows us to remain steady in the face of change or chaos. Brummett describes inner strength as the ability to stay present with our experience without being overwhelmed by it. Stay present without being overwhelmed by it. This is especially critical when engaging in spiritual healing. Brummett encourages us to be with what is, not resisting our pain, not rushing to fix it, but remaining grounded as we allow our inner experience to unfold. It's that strength that we stand in when we do that. When we're willing to stand in that pain, when we're willing to stand in the chaos, when we're willing to stand in the midst of the tanks going down the street and allow our inner experience to unfold, to have faith. And so if we reflect back again on Warch and Brummett, we see that strength is the spiritual stamina to sit with grief, to hold space for ambiguity, to keep our commitments even when we're weary. Hear that again, to keep our commitments even when we're weary. It is the power of presence, of being willing to stay in the present moment, of being willing to sit in it. In the human experience, strength allows us to carry both our vulnerability and our courage as we move towards integration. And one of the most important ones in my book of our gifts, and it's all three of these, all the gifts are important. These are all important, but judgment, discernment, the power to choose spiritually, the power to choose spiritually. Warch says that the power of judgment is spiritual intelligence. The ability to discern divine truth from illusion. The ability to discern divine truth from illusion and to make choices aligned with the higher self. To see what's really going on. To know what's an illusion and what's truth. To stay present in the truth and hold the truth. Become aligned with that higher self. Brummett says that Brummett emphasizes the importance of spiritual discernment throughout our quest for wholeness. He teaches that wholeness emerges when we cease making decisions from ego-based fears and begin choosing from the perspective of our spiritual essence. In this way, judgment becomes moralizing. Judgment becomes not moralizing, but the capacity to see clearly, to distinguish the voice of the ego from the voice of the soul. That's where discernment is. That's where we need to go when we're discerning what we want to do next, what we're seeing and what's illusion and what isn't. That to distinguish that voice, that inner voice, which one's coming from ego and which one is coming from the soul, and what are we going to choose next? Discernment allows us to navigate life not with rigid rules, but with inner alignment. And as we develop this gift, we are able to respond rather than react. Repeat that, Richard. Okay, we are able to respond rather than react, to pause before speaking, and to seek inner clarity before acting. This, Brahman says, is spiritual maturity, choosing from wisdom rather than from impulse. There was once a woman who found herself caught in a strong river current while canoeing alone. At first, she panicked and tried to row furiously against the current, exhausting herself. She believed that she had to resist the force to survive. But then something shifted. She stopped. She took a breath and she began to observe. In her observation, she noticed an eddy near the bank that could offer safety. She realized she didn't have to overpower the river. She just had to work with its flow, steering gently with the current toward a safe landing. Discernment, spiritual intelligence, spiritual maturity, using faith, using strength, using this discernment. It brings about spiritual intelligence. It brings about the moment of clarity, the pause, the observation, the adjustment. This is true spiritual intelligence. It is the essence of discernment. Rather than forcing your will, align yourself with what was and make a choice from presence and wisdom. Take a look at what is. Align yourself with your true self, with the spiritual being that you truly are. Observe what's going on in the human experience, and then make your choice about what's next from that place of the true self. Just as in our own lives, we face strong emotional or circumstantial currents, we are invited to respond from soul awareness rather than struggle. Spiritual judgment helps us see what's real, what's needed, and how to move with grace. So I invite you this week, as you go through your week, as you go through everything that's going on in this world, invite spiritual intelligence into your human experience and move forward with grace. Thank you. Thank you. Have a great week.